Oh. We are here yet again. In another story reading. At last. I have been doing these back to back nowadays. I honestly... Now, I don't plan to always read them every single day. It's just... It happens that I have empty time nowadays. So I'm like, you know what? Sure. Let's just kick in and read them all while it's possible. And today... Actually, I as well switch to the game. Here we go. Boom. The man, the myth, the legend, Roland himself. And today, we will be reading his affection story. Now, this affection story is quite unique from all the others. So I'll be having fun reading this one. Not that the other ones weren't fun. If I'm being honest, there's not a single fiction story that I have read or will read that I don't exactly like. It's like impossible for me to do so. Because if I read an fiction story that I don't like, I'm just going to feel nauseous. And I won't be streaming it to begin with. That said, unlike the previous one with Luna, this one is a normal one of 6 nodes. So we'll get right to it. Alright. Now, I have started before the point where my internet could go wrong. So I hope that nothing happens. My expectations are very low on that front, but I do hope nothing happens. Regardless, we begin. I just realized something. I could flip this and be better. Here we go. That is better for my hands and everything. I should also grease my voice a bit. You may have the experience as a commandant. You may have the experience as commandant, but the current situation exceeds all your expectations. You're in a small prison cell. Judging by the steel cage in front of you and the limited number of furniture in the room, which includes a bed, a water basin, and a toilet, this is a prison for sure. Meanwhile, a mechanoid with its artificial skin peeled off is guarding the room outside with the soulless eyes staring at you. At the entrance are the corpses of 2 other mechanoids. It's not if this is your first imprisonment, but it is your first time coming face to face with a corrupted like this. The door separating thing 2 is strong. Its sturdy lock capable of withstanding attacks that of the strongest weapons. Which is the silver lining in this situation, the corrupted will not be able to damage the door, at the least you are safe in that front. I'm adding words. You sigh a breath of relief and lift your gun. This is the 3rd time. I shoot. The bullet pierces through the mechanoid's memory shell, instantly putting a stop to its actions. It drops to the ground by the door with a thud. You immediately move closer and put your hand through the narrow gap between the bars, fumbling around its wrist. Your finger finds a metal ring. The cool sensation of metal relaxes you. It sure does, Commander. It sure does. In more ways than one. You finally find the key to the cell on the third guard patrolling the area. Not wasting any more time, you insert the key into the keyhole on the other side of the door. After trying for the 5th time, you're finally able to free yourself. Your short imprisonment comes to an end. The question that remains now is how to leave this place. As for how you got yourself in this predicament, flashback. At first it was just a simple survey mission. After investigating all nearby devices according to the procedures, you find yourself in front of the main entrance of a prison. The thick steel doors were wide open as the prison had long since lost its original purpose. But due to its unique power supply, some parts of it were still operational. The place was infected by the punishing virus during the Great Evacuation. Most of the prisoners here escaped amidst the chaos, leaving behind the bionic mechanoids workers. According to scans, this area contains a huge amount of corrupted. For the conservation area nearby undergoing restoration, this prison is no doubt an explosive ticking time bomb. In order to prevent the prison radio jamming from interfering with the cleanup mission, Grey Raven and another team was assigned to a co-op mission together to set up comm equipment outside of the building, while you scout the uninfected areas and the prison. The mission was going smoothly until you heard an explosion. From deep within the building, you leaped inside from the prison and its open doors without even thinking. The alarms blared and the prison came to life, its red lights flashing inside. You heard rustling from behind, and before you could react, something has grabbed your right arm. Turning around, you find a huge mechanoid guard lurking in the shadows behind the door. Prisoner confirmed, captured, awaiting next command. I shall reach for the gun. You reach for your gun, stepped to your waist, but the mechanoid noticed and grabbed your arm as well. Warning, the prisoner is aggressive. More forceful measures will be taken upon repeated offensive. The light on the mechanoid's guard's head turned red, and the weapons on its shoulders aimed at your head. Unable to predict the mechanoid's next move, it's best to just stay put and observe. No new command. Acting according to protocol. Transferring prisoner to cell C04. The mechanoid guard pushed you forward with its weapon, as the door of the prison closed up behind you. Crap. But whenever you showed a sign of struggle, the mechanoid would raise its weapon as a warning, forcing you to give up your plans on a sneak attack. That is how you were transferred to this cell. Recalling the path you took when you were transferred, you soon find yourself in the warden's area. Luckily, the area you are in has relatively low virus concentration, and the mechanoids you have encountered on the way have shown no sign of infection. The hostility dissipated after you took the key and the authorization chip from the guard. The office, simply put, is a mess. It's not hard to imagine what happened here. Even the specks of dust are frozen in time, and nothing has changed since the moment of evacuation. Looking around, you find an old control system and a comm device under the same old newspaper. Try to activate it. The system monitor lights up at your touch. The control system confirms that prison emergency mode was activated due to an unknown reason. All passages leading outside have been sealed, and if you want to open the doors here, you need to activate the unique command in the main control room with the correct password. Basically, he can't open the exit without a specific command that's in a specific room. Yeah, I get it. Turning your attention to the comm device on the side, you find that its communication range is limited within the prison. I think we are forgetting the fact that this is a Roland defection story, but we will get there eventually. You have no way to confirm your signals will be picked up by the comm equipment set up by the team outside, but this is currently your only way to communicate in this closed-off space. So you operate the device and set out a distress signal. As you wait for a reply, you explore the warden's office and find a blueprint of the prison. Thankfully, your time has not been a complete waste. Just when you think you begin to have received one of your messages, that no one has received one of your messages, the signal connection lights up. The silver-haired young man stands in front of the comm equipment with interest focusing on a flashing signal. Interesting. I wasn't expecting visitors except for myself. I wonder whose luck was so rotten that the poor thing got trapped in here with me. The signal continues to flash, pausing for a second before resuming, like the lamp on a struggling ship caught in a storm. And this is in a random shot in the dark. The one who sent this seemed to be quite collected. I thought this would be my one-shot show. Color me surprised to find another actor on the stage. It's not my style to let such an interesting opportunity slip away, is it now? He placed his hand on top of the reply button. Ooh. I am going to have so much fun voicing this one. I shall drink water. Ah. Okay. Let us continue. Beep noises. You are not expecting such a prompt response, so you rush back to the comm device. The green indicator flicks in the darkness. A series of rhythmic beeps emits from the device, long and short, starting and pausing. You immediately realize that someone is responding to your distress signal. Although you do not understand why the other party is not directly speaking, you focus on the frequency of the beeping and start to decipher the message. So instead of actually talking or sending a message, he's just sending beeps. Yeah, gotcha. There's someone other than you who is trapped in this prison. You do not know the stranger's identity or allegiance, but right now, you'll latch onto it like a ship finding a course in a foggy sea. However, the beeps do not make sense at all. There's no rule or sequence to them, leaving you confused after trying numerous deciphering methods. You originally thought it was just Morse code, or Pilipus cipher, but no matter what you try, you end up with nonsense. For some unknown reason, you feel an odd familiarity. Of course you do, Commander. Of course you do. If there's anyone out there who would immediately start having flashbacks of Roland shenanigans, it would be you. The beeping repeats relentlessly, reverberating in the silence of the room. Your fingers subconsciously tap the desk while you think. The tapping and peeping intertwined. Your fingers move at the rhythm of the beeps, as if it's a drummer in a performance. Wait, drums? Could it be? If your tapping is the drums and the beats, then the beeping is... it's a melody. As if the thorns tugging at your mind has ignited. A point in your memory calls for your attention. This is the melody of the theme song of the Golden Age movie, Fort Da. In that movie, the protagonist is jailed after being framed for a crime they did not commit. One day during work, they notice that the sequence of threads is wrong, and thus decipher a message from a prisoner they have never met before. In the end, they are able to cooperate and escape the prison. In that story, the two characters live in different cells and work at different times, so they can only communicate passively. This melody the first plays when the two characters formally meet each other. They have spent months deciding the best time and the best place, are able to meet up in 5 minutes without anyone's noticing, thus beginning their escape plan. Now, what exactly is the other prisoner trying to convey by sending such melody? After a moment of thought, you focus on where is the melody played, which is an important location in the movie. The laundry room. Is this what the other person's trying to tell you? Uncertainty floods your mind, but you once again place your hand on the device. You search deeper from your memories and send another message to test the waters. You send the message, but it's not the SOS you sent before. You send the next segment of the melody. After repeatedly sending it 3 times, the beeping from the other device stops. The silence lasts less than 10 seconds before the beeping starts again. 3 short, 3 long, then 3 short beeps again. This time you understand the message. An SOS. There's someone else who's also trapped in this prison, and for some reason, unable to send a voice message. For all you know, the prisoner may not be even able to move, which is why the message is a location. There are all speculations that you cannot rule out the possibility of a trap, but it is enough information for you to go on and take action. There is one more question in your mind, which is why the other prisoner had to indicate the location in such a subtle way. But staying here will not get you any answers. The only thing you can do now is to take every chance you get. I have to plan my route first. You confirm the location of the laundry room on the map. Good thing this old prison only comes with 1 laundry room, and it's stationed right before the 2 buildings. Overlapping the mental image of the map of the corrupted signals you went over before the mission started with a blueprint in front of you. You planned the safest route. You are currently in Zone A, which has the lower virus concentration, while the laundry room is connected to Zone B, which has the highest concentration. From the map, you can see that the warden's office in Zone A is next to the laundry room. Looks like this is where the signal's coming from. Roland has to admit that things are exceeding his expectations. His message was not the only deciphered correctly, but responded in kind. This is an unexpected development that has thrown him in a loop. He was not expecting someone to respond to his message when he played that melody as a joke. He was only interested to see what kind of confusion the calm and collected person asking for help would fall upon receiving a nonsensical signal, and what action they would have taken. Yeah, that's so like you, Roland. Yeah, I can see you absolutely doing that. Never in a million years does he think that he would be the one in confusion instead. Heading towards the target location. That's the last message the other person left. It seems that that person has already moved from where the signal originated. Is that person coming over here, or that person choose to ignore him and leave? Is there really anyone who would be willing to risk their lives in an abandoned prison where danger lurks in every corner to respond to an unknown distress signal? Of course not. Roland reaches to that conclusion as soon as the question pops in his head. Someone like that does not exist. Well, let me tell you something. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on who's receiving in that, they do exist. However, that little interaction over the peeps just now left Roland pleasantly surprised. God knows how long since he last felt that. Anticipation. Ever since, even he does not know what he's anticipating and how this will play out. He has anticipated quite a few times in his life, but never did they not end in disappointment. To him, the feeling of anticipation itself is a cruel punishment, as if it's the sword of Damocles hanging above his head. Cowardly players cannot save oneself, nor suffering that he experienced. That is the truth of his world. Ha! Anticipation. I guess it wouldn't hurt to wait, just for a little while. The journey over the laundry room goes smoother than you expected. Avoiding the patrolling mechanoids and passing through the dusty old cells and the interrogation room, you must find the mechanoid ignoring you as you carry on with their preset routes, doomed to repeat for eternity until they eventually join the corpses littered on the floor. That's very sad. 20 minutes later, you find yourself inside of the laundry room. The laundry room is big, with 4 rows of washing machines on each side. There are carts scattered about the fabric decorating the floor. You edge towards the door on the other side of the room while keeping an eye on your blind spots. If your speculations are correct, then the person who responded to your distress signal should be behind this door. You try the door handle, but it does not budge. None of the keys you got from the guard can unlock it. Just as you contemplate using force, you hear a rhythmic tapping from the pipe corner. This time there's no melody to it. It only serves to nudge you in the right direction, to pay attention here. Heading towards the sound, you follow the piping pipe to the washing machine on the corner. And then you hear the taps coming from the wall behind. Carefully pushing away the washer, you find a small hole at the bottom of the wall that is seemed to be connected to the other room. Just as you are about to bend down and inspect, a small black cube rolls out of the hole and stops at your feet. Do I pick it up or do I be alert? No. Commandant will just pick it up. I mean, he will be alert, but I'm not Commandant. I'm stupid. Without much thought, you pick up the cube. It looks like a PDA used by the office workers in the prison, almost identical to the device you found in the warden's office. But this one seemed to operating just fine. The screen wakes up as you wipe away the dust with your fingers. The monitor displays an online diary of a guard, but most of the contents seem to have been turned into a random codes due to data damage. What catches your attention is the topmost message. Hello, stranger. I guess I should voice it like Roland. Apologies that I can only communicate with you like this. This is... After a few seconds of silence, the message refreshes again. I believe you are stuck here just like me. I'm sorry that spring this on to you, but I do need your help. This motherfucker is enjoying this. I bet it. He is absolutely enjoying this. And thus things are unfolding in a way out of Roland's expectations once more. The person really did traverse through half of the prison to where he is. To be wrong twice in a row. What a peculiar experience. The unfamiliar and tingly feeling disrupts not long after. Roland forces himself to focus on the message that he just sent on the device. When was this tad too dramatic for an opening line? But it does not look like an interesting start to a diary. Oh, Roland. Looks like you have what it takes to do improv. Roland's lips pulls into a worried smile. Sitting in the corner against the wall, he pops his chin as in on one hand while he stares at the device with the other. This was an unexpected find. While he was wandering around the prison, this special design device can send and receive messages just like that fixed comm equipment in the prison. While he had waited, he spent the time repairing it. Although the audio module was completely destroyed, the other functions are still operational. Will you play along with me? After a while, the message refreshes. I'm glad I'm not alone here. After understanding the usage of the device, you reply to the other person in the form of a new diary post, confirming that the laundry room is not under the threat of the corrupted. You sit down by the wall. Only the wall separating you and the prisoner who's on the same situation. But the two of you are only able to communicate through the small device in your hand. They explained their situation. They were looking for the supplies when the doors suddenly closed and thus trapped them here. It seems that they also do not know why the emergency mode was activated, So you place your focus on how to escape. First, you think about breaking down a wall or a door with force, but you immediately realize why that would not be possible. The weapons you currently carry are just not strong enough to destroy a prison door or a wall. And you can guess that applies to the other person as well. Looks like you have to come up with another plan if you want to converge with that other person. You recall the memory of the map you found in the office and realize something. The main control room that controls all exits are not far from where you currently are, while the warden's office is situated in the middle of Zone B. If you can find hints regarding the control commands in the warden's office, then there is a chance that you can crack the command in the main control room and open the main gate of this prison. I have a plan. We need to cooperate. Understood. What do you require of me? And so you tell the other person your plan. I see. Working together, huh? Alright. It has been a while, and it's more interesting than breaking out by force. Getting to the warden's office is like a stroll in the park for Roland. But for a weak and trapped person, getting past all those corrupted on the way is impossible. Right, the authenticity. I need to increase the difficulty. But there's a lot of corrupted blocking the way to the warden's office. I can't take care of all of them on my own. That sounds about right. After a while, he receives a reply. Okay, I'll distract them. Wait for my signal. Distract them? How? How one can distract corrupted that they can't even reach? Alright then, let's see what you got. I'll wait for the good news from the warden's office, my dear stranger. Roland stands and heads towards the warden's office. He whisks through the dim corridors as if he's taking a stroll and window shopping. Suddenly, a piercing static noise interrupts the peace from afar. The volume of static quickly lowers, replaced by a piano music. Due to the lack of maintenance for the prison's audio system, the song mixed with the static noises, turning the usually soothing piano music into something from a horror movie. The piano music barely lasts for a second before it gets turned into an elegant cello. It looks like someone is accessing the prison's audio system. Has that person already reached the control room? All over the prison, rackets of mechanoids crashing and noises of damaged audio modules can be heard. The corrupted realize where the sound's coming from and starts to make their way over from different directions. So this is what they meant when they said they'll distract them. Not bad. The music changes again, this time for an elegant cello to a death metal. Holy shit, death. I wish I can hear that, if I'm being honest. The wild voices of death reverberates within the prison walls, sounding even more spine-chilling than the wail of the corrupted. The corrupted rush over, gathering under the speaker. The death metal stops and a pop song starts to play, followed by jazz, rap, and even the prison's fifth set of radio. I'm not reading that. I assume it's like radio announcements or something. What are you, a DJ? Not long after, the music changes again. Flamenco music plays from the prison speakers, startling Roland a bit. This is the same song that is used in the prison theme movie. The protagonist deliberately starts a group fight to avert the attention of the guards, while the other character goes and steals a metal piece for a lockpick where the guards are busy stopping the fight. The director brilliantly chooses to use this flamenco music as the background music to create a humorous yet exciting scene. The message on the device finally refreshes. Sorry for the wait, that was my signal. You can head towards the warden office now. This human is far more interesting than I thought. Looks like I won't be bored for the time being. With the path all cleared, Roland soon arrives at the warden's office. It does not take him long to find the command and passcodes. Old safes are easy to break. No secret can hide from Roland. Damn, that was one hell of a way to word that. What intrigues him more at the moment is his partner. Roland sends over the command and passcode through the device and receives a swift reply. The door is open. Nice working with you. They're still corrupted outside, so we can meet in the cafeteria area first, before breaking out together. I already planned out the routes. The following message simply explains the intended way of escape and routes. It also details the possible situations and their solutions. I thought our cooperation would end here, not develop into a meeting. Well, this is sure as a first. Someone who's actively looking for trouble. The stun you pulled just now would have earned you a bit of a fat 0 from the angry instructor if you were still at FOSS Tactical Simulation class. After all, no one would use such popular music as a signal on a battlefield. Well, it doesn't hurt to have fun once in a while. While adding a little extra something for the other person. You had to look at the map in the control room and decide the best place to carry out the distraction, and then the loudest noise you could with the speakers, leading away the corrupted on the route towards the warden's office. The other person found the warden's office fairly quickly. You thought it might take them some time to find it and find the command and passcodes, but sent it to you soon after. You immediately key in the code in the control panel and unlock the gate. The indicator lamps on the monitor labeled Control Area Door turns green. The outmost lock is removed. You can finally leave. You shake your legs as soon as you take a deep breath and notify the other person that the gate is open. But that does not mean you're safe yet. The corrupted who are lurking around are still a threat. Which is why you suggest to the other person to meet up first. Why would you go through all this trouble? Because it decreases our chance of survival. I might hinder you though. You won't. Because we will work together. If it weren't for you, we wouldn't have been able to unlock the gates this quickly. The gates are open. I lost all my value. You could just abandon me here and... You could have just abandoned me here and left. Why do you still want to take the long way and converse with me first? Because you asked for my help. And... technically, you are the one who responded to my distress signal first. There's a pause in the refreshing messages. Even though I only sing a melody from an unpopular movie. Yeah, but I still understood. I doubt anyone else would have understood. Even though you cannot see the expression of the person on the other end of those messages, you can feel the weariness in their words. I'm actually quite curious as to why you sent that. Because the only Morse code I know is SOS. Even though you're able to decipher the command and the passcode? That's because the passcode was just stuck to the underside of the table. You couldn't stiff the smile on your face. Maybe we can have a chat. About the movie, among other things. Of course. Roland reads the replies on a device. A face with a face void of emotion. Even though he's just playing a character in the chat, he still feels a tinge of real emotion there. Bitterness, joy, and slight anticipations, they slowly flood out of his heart like a bubble, only for him to crush them with his bare hands. An actor does not show their own emotion. To seek the truth in an illusion will only come back and stab him in the back one day. What am I even doing? I love this interlude for a very specific reason, because we get to see a side of Roland that he usually doesn't show, which is him, you know, not knowing what to do in a situation that's not like extremely dangerous or something. Like not in the end of a world situation, just him absolutely not knowing what to do while dealing with somebody. That is an alpha. That is a different way. That is a different way of not knowing what to do. I can't wait to read Alpha's infection story in the future. That one will be fun. To me. Let us rewind the time for a bit. Back when Roland first ventured into this prison, what compelled him to do so was nothing serious like a secret mission, but it was due more to his own curiosity. The mechanoids in the prison were still carrying the duty they were once manufactured for. Apparently all guards were bionic mechanoids in order to lower the hostility of the prisoners. Their appearance are nothing but human, but they still know how to obey the rules. They do not accept bribes, nor do they request rest. To the prison, nothing better than cheap yet efficient labor. However, now corrupted, they are nothing but a virus due to this abandoned prison. Usually, the corrupted mechanoids will lose all self-control and would not be able to carry out the jobs they are programmed to do anymore. But the corrupted in this prison are still doing their job, as they are not corrupted at all. In this world where prisoners were long gone, this kind of empty performance can be found all over the post-apocalyptic world. It means this is not exactly the only place where this particular singularity happens. Like factories or a mall with a lot of robots. It basically happens a lot. Doesn't mean they're not hostile towards humans though, as demonstrated earlier. Roland has always loved participating in those performances, of course you do. He pretended to be a prisoner and arrested for a theft and was transferred to a prison cell by a corrupted. All was observing the actions of all the mechanoids he passed. Of course you did. None of this surprised me. Not even a little. Not even when I first read it, it does not surprise me even slightly. The cleaning bots kept cleaning the same spot, creating a patch of shiny tiles among the ruins. The guards patrolled the corridors, their movement precise enough to draw the line on the floor that showed their route. And then there was the poor guy who kept circling the stairs due to his broken navigation system. Oh, that is indeed a poor guy, holy shit. Among the tattered corrupted stood a smiling prisoner. Nothing could be more wrong with this picture, but Roland seems to be enjoying it. Of course you do. I should have like an of course you do counter on top of the stream. This man. The mechanoid's workflow were meticulously planned, but without regular maintenance from the humans, only the slight disturbance to the flow could lead to chaos. Because of the stirring errors it triggers, a bionic mechanoid guard made the judgment that the prisoner was escaping, thus activating the alarm system of the whole prison. Basically, one of the guards glitched. One of the corrupted guards, I suppose, glitched and caused the entire prison system alarm to set off. All because Roland decided to take abandon of the corrupted guard when he was changing shifts. Oh, he did not glitch. You caused this! You absolute moron! That led to a series of chain reaction. The resting guards were activated, the red alarms lights kept flickering, and all exits were locked up, leaving Roland trapped in this complicated prison like a real prisoner who failed escaping. Yet you deserve that. But on the other hand, I was dragged into this. So screw you. Of course, those locks and doors of the old age were nothing to him. One blast later and Roland was strolling out of his destroyed cell, which also caused all the corruptors to descend into chaos. However, this was not the problem for Roland. Even when the gates were locked, he would not be hard to break out. It would just require some work. That was when Roland discovered something far more intriguing than the corrupted. An unfortunate fella who was also trapped in the prison. What fun. What should I do? Need to even ask, my friend. Of course we should fill this human with horror and despair, and force them to abandon a stranger to save their own life. Like in those boring Golden Age movies. Poor little Roland, abandoned in the face of a danger once again. But one thing is different now. You're not the weak little human anymore. You have a chance to kill or let live. You decide. I can't wait to see the expression on that human when they realize that they are the one who is abandoned. Why would I want to do that? Because you're bored, of course. Bored people do boring things. What's wrong with that? The shadow in his heart replied. Imagine having split personality. Couldn't be me. However, things did not go in the direction Roland has expected. This is a flashback to where he got the signal in the first place. Gotcha. Drinking water. The person on the other end of the line was neither frightened nor desperate. They calmly planned an escape for both of them. Roland felt something familiar from this exchange with that person, even though it was only through text. Even in a dire situation, they were able to stay collected and devised an escape plan. They even examined different possibilities and created contingencies for them. They even put safety of others first in the face of danger. This kind of behavior is more like an experienced veteran than a scavenger. It made him sick to think that that person was nothing but a kind to a stranger. It reminded him of a certain human who he had come across a few times. Well, it may have only been few meetings for that human, but Roland has actually been observing them for quite some time now. Yeah, basically, despite our meetings with Roland in story are actually fewer than how many times Roland met us, or spied on us, or been observing us from afar, from the sound of it. Which also explains how come he was fine with what happened in chapter 13. Like when he helped Commandant get to Luna and help them meet and orchestrate the whole linking them together thing. Well, not that part, but majority of it. It explains it, basically. How he was so fine with it. Half of the curiosity and half to achieve his own goal. It can't actually be them. He scoffs at his own thought, and the next second no reason for such baseless questions. But he has to admit that the stranger has piqued his interest. He's even thinking of asking them to join him. You have certainly caught my interest. Tell me, who are you? After the gate was unlocked, Roland reaches the plant red. My back. The plan reads. I cannot. Read, Rojak, read. The plant. Red for. The plant point. Damn it. It's not that I can't read. I just woke up from sleep not too long ago. I should do these after I'm not, or when I'm more awake. He makes his way up to the second floor. How in the living fuck I couldn't read the word rendezvous? It is... God help me. He makes his way up to the second floor, looking over the railings at Zone A entrance, where that person will enter from. Finally, he hears the human footsteps from the other end of the corridor. The second Roland gets a good look at the stranger, he feels someone clutching his guts. Even with all the thick exoskeleton and protective equipment, Roland can still instantly recognize that person. Commandant. Was that just a baseless speculation that turns out to be true? His imaginary partner is now standing opposite to him. Roland immediately retracts his steps after coming to this realization. Instead of walking forward like he had wanted to, he backs up to the shadows by the wall. There has always been one ending for him: abandonment. Abandoned by his parents, by his friend, and as a failed experiment. In the end, all he had was himself. You thought you found a friend? Don't make me laugh. You've always been alone and always will be. Everything is just an illusion. You're not others, and others will never be you. You will always be walking in this maze, of your own making. Hmm. Abandon all those ridiculous thoughts. They need to be reconciled. Nothing goes the way he wants. Of course, that's more like my reality. Nothing ever goes the way he wants. It's hard to comment when it's just good writing, you know? It's hard to just comment when it's just that. Dozens of minutes have passed since you arrived at the rendezvous point. And you're still alone. No matter how many times you try to contact the other person through the devices, there is no reply. In a situation like this, where all connection is lost, it is not hard for you to mind to wonder at the possibility of the worst case scenario. Should you leave first and call for backup, or should you follow your planned route and try to find another? After a bit of thought, you made up your mind. There's a certain distance from your current location and the exit. You don't have a firm gap on the number of corrupted there, but the longer time passes, the higher the possibility that the other person gets in danger. Not to mention, you said things like, "We will get out of this together, and I won't leave you behind." I'm suddenly reminded of something the other person had said during the interactions. You'll get abandoned once you lose your value. As if they were used to this kind of thing happening. This makes it even harder to leave him here. That's when you realize that you don't even know their name. If we really do meet, I'll need to ask their name first. The human runs down the dark corridor. A gray-haired shadow follows him from the floor above. The human is reflecting the pair of the heterochromia eyes. Roland has seen how exhausted the figure was. But the gun in their hand has never wavered. Each step is taken with determination. Determination? Undertale? Roland has already lost count on how many times he has been surprised in this short period of time. He thought that person would have just left. You really never fail to amaze me, Commandant. You made me want to see your reaction when you're betrayed. When you finally realize that the person you're risking your life to save is actually the enemy. I wonder what expression you'll show me. Betrayed by your friend that you have trust, and dying alone in this prison. What an ironic ending for the Grey Raven Commandant. He traces the human who refuses to give up with his eyes. The device keeps receiving new messages. The human is heading towards the area with the most corrupted in the prison. If they get surrounded, it would be impossible for them to escape on their own. How troublesome. That's enough. The device suddenly lights up with a new message after reaching the third area. Roland is at Tsundere? Damn. Well, I think it's less that him being at Tsundere, and more that he does need him alive. Because, you know, Luna. So. But then again, there's also that. It's a bit of both. It's salt and pepper, basically. Are you okay? The thing you're searching for does not exist from the start. I don't understand. Need I explain further? If I'm the one who wants to save your... If the one you want to save is your enemy, would you still save him? Enemy? That's right. The enemy. But don't worry. I already taken care of him for you. Forgive me for not trusting your one-sided statements. Yet you trust a stranger you never met before. I trust my own judgment. And I will leave together with the one I'm trying to find. Why? You don't know what under pretense that person on the other end is asking this question. After some thought, you send an answer. Because I said I wouldn't leave them behind. Even if they are the enemy, as you said, it does not affect my decision to save them in this moment. I trust myself to make the correct judgment. And if they really are the enemy, then there's more reason for me to find them, as they may have been the target of my mission. Word by word, Roland reads the replies received on the device. He covers these eyes with the back of his hands and laughs. He laughs so hard that his shoulders are shaking. Ah, as expected, Grey Raven Commandant. Who would have thought that after all this time, I would be able to hear something like this? Roland finally stops laughing after some time. Ah, now, this is really interesting. It's going to be a shame to let you die here. Silence resumes after you send your last reply. You've been full of questions right now, but there's no time to waste here. No matter if you will find a dangerous enemy or a friend in need, you will confirm yourself once and for all. You're currently in the cell area of the Falconer offenders. The security is even tighter here. With the obvious increase in the number of bionic guards, there's only 4 corrupted loitering in the corner as if on patrol. I need to do something about them. Looking around, you lock onto a cell in the middle. You take out a distress flare, ignite it, then throw it towards the cell. It leaves a bright trace of light as it lands in the middle of the cell. The bright light and heat attracts the attention of the corrupted. They all turn and enter the cell. Now. Shut the cell door. With the help of your exoskeleton, you close the heavy door, trapping the corrupted inside the small cell. They stop cowering over the flare and start to bash the door with their weapons. The alarm sounds as the door is hit. Malicious attack to the facility detected. Begin scan. Guard confirmed. The red laser moves on as after you scanning the 4 mechanoids. Unidentified life form detected. You violate the prison regulations, activating enforcement system. Execution target locked. Crap. You look down at the red dot on your chest. Impending doom fills your heart. Your body reacts first, taking a step back towards your left, but the red dot immediately follows. You also see the thin red laser reflected in the dust in the air. Later to its origin, you notice that a red light flashes from the upper left from your corporeal vision. You immediately point your gun towards the direction and pull the trigger. If you didn't hear wrong, 2 shots rang out, almost at the same time. The execution device in front of you is destroyed by your bullet, while the other gunshot originated from behind you. Turning around, you find a corrupted guard standing in the shadows, few 10 meters away. Where did it get there? Raise your gun and shoot. Before you could launch your next attack, the corrupted falls towards as if it's thrown. That's when you notice that the other silhouette in the shadows behind the fallen mechanoid. But before you had the chance to get a good look at the figure, you see something rolling from the corrupted's hand. Same time, you hear a ticking sound. A flash grenade! Shoot! The explosion reverberates through the narrow corridor. You can still feel the light blinding you even though you have eyes closed. Sharp pain erupts from your eardrums, while a chaotic dissonance rings in your ears. The sound around you are muffled as through you're underwater. The flash grenade that the corrupted threw away may have not caused any fatal damage, but getting caught in such close distance does not leave you temporarily blinded. You feel unspeakable pain in your eyes. You are unable to open them even in the presence of a dim light. This is not good. You may have fallen in greater danger if your vision does not return soon. I'm not gonna lie, it's not just you, Commander. Just looking at a bright white screen is not helping me either. You reach in your memory and swiftly navigate over to the corner behind the steel door and wall. You sit on the ground and start performing first aid on your arm that was scraped by the steel fragments during the explosion. Your left glove is no longer protective, as the blood soaks your glove and fingers, hindering your movement instead. You unclap the buckle in your arm, removing the glove and throw it to your side. Feeling for protectable radar detector, you flip the switch. Fortunately, it is still functioning. At the least, when something approaches you, you will notice. You'll be notified by your radar. The radar starts to sound as soon as your switch is on. Found you. You see a black shadow itching closer to your blurred vision. The pain in your eyes is still getting on your nerves. Opening them for those few seconds is already your limit. So you're already relying on your intuition and you point your gun towards the shadow. How pathetic. This is a rare sight indeed. The Grey Raven Commandant, powerless in front of me. The shadow is looking down at you. Although you cannot hear clearly what they are saying, the voice does sound very familiar. Commandant, how in the living hell you do not know Roland? Of all people you would recognize your voice, I would think that Roland would be like #1 on that list. That's like the one thing that annoys me in this fiction story, is that he does not recognize Roland of all people. This is ridiculous, but you know what, we roll with it. Stay back. How rude. Do your teammates know about this side of you? You can't hear me. If you don't properly treat your wounds, it would cause a permanent hearing damage. Come on, let's get out of here first. The person lifts you up and leads you towards a certain direction step by step. Who are you? I'm your partner in this prison break. Did you forget about me already? The tinnitus in your ear eases up a bit. You can finally identify the sound you hear. Flash grenades are not just blinding, they are very loud as well. That is a fun fact for all of you. They are extremely loud, like when you hear it goes ding, that is actually how it sounds. But much higher volume. It's meant to be very deafening and very blinding at the same time. Majority of them anyway. Some of them are just blinding. The person speaking seems to be masking his voice with the modulator. As you hear a low and a weird voice. Ah, okay, that makes more sense. I forgot this segment while reading it. So Roland is using a modulator, so his voice is not easily recognizable. Okay, that makes sense. I assume that Commandant felt it familiar because of his way of speaking. Why is he changing his voice? The corrupted are coming. We all need to break through these here together. Unfortunately, my weapon was destroyed, so I'll need your help to get rid of those pesky enemies. You liar. You absolute fucking liar. How? I'll be your eyes. You just need to aim and shoot. The person lifts your hand that is gripping the gun. Ready? You raise gun. The radar goes off frantically and several unidentified individuals close on the two of you. You do not reply with your words, but with your actions. On your right. Fire. 1 o'clock, raise your arm. 4 o'clock, there's 2. Aim at the second shot at 45 degrees on the side, diagonally. Fire. Gripping your gun, you pull the trigger according to the instructions of the person next to you. He supports your hand while slightly adjusting your angle when you shoot. As you never shot before while being temporarily blinded, sweat begins to form on your forehead. But the arm supporting yours never wavers. Although you have no idea who he is, in this moment you decide to trust his guidance. After the last shot, all the noisy mechanic clamoring stops. Your arm starts to feel numb after so many continuous shots. I didn't know you were such a sharp shooter when blinded. I have a training of this kind. Training in situations like this? How reliable. Who are you? You ask this question once more. A name tugs in your mind, but you don't have concrete proof. I am so thankful you're not that dumb, Commandant. I am so thankful. I was going to be really pissed if you didn't recognize him. I didn't have even that doubt of it. But I'm so thankful you are a smartass. I really am. I'm not gonna tell him that his voice sounds like a mission target. That is, you're just asking for it if you do that. Your voice is familiar. Oh my. After that, the other person does not speak anymore. No matter how much you try to engage in conversation, he stays silent. Well, in any case, thank you. The silent figure next to you lets out a laugh, as if to remind you your choice to trust him blindly is not wise. Yet, you trust a stranger you never met before. You remember what he said before. You could have just let me there, but you didn't. So, I think I can trust you. The person next to you interrupts grasps what you are about to say. He pulls your left hand with a force that is not strong, yet you cannot defy. It tickles the palm of your hand, so as someone is writing on it. You are welcome. You subconsciously read aloud the words written on your palm. Until next time. He lets go of your hand when the ticklish feeling is gone. Exhaustion hits you like a bus. All the wounds on your body fights for your attention all at once. The hand supporting you is strong yet cold, and you finally notice you're already placed at a relatively safe corner. The mysterious person has long left. There's no sounds of footsteps where he did, as though he was never here at all. The only thing that proves that he wasn't a fragment of your imagination is the terminal on your hand. You don't know if there will come a day when the messages are refreshed, or you ever get to meet this mysterious person again. As you contemplate, you hear a roaring sound of vehicles from the outside. It's probably the backup from Babylonia. You put the terminal in your pocket and stand up while supporting yourself on the wall. Although you have a feeling the two of you will meet again, maybe as enemies. But when that time comes, I'll make the right choice. God help me. That was an affection story of all time. I'll say, this is technically like one of the least quote-unquote affection stories out there, in a way. I mean, this is as affectionate as you'll get from Roland, of all people. We get to see a side from Roland that we don't see often. Him being in absolute shock at someone knowing his own game. It's kind of funny, I'm not gonna lie. And the fact that he does in fact leave Commandant alive out of his own amusement, if anything, is also up to his character. Even if he himself contradicts himself, is also within character. There's never a boring moment with this guy, I must say. Unless we count that hidden story in EX05. Roland, as much as I love you, that hidden story was absolutely boring at the end. But that was cool. It was a nice interlude. If I have to rank it from the ones that I have read so far on stream, it would be exactly 4th place. Like, Luna is number 1, Haikama is number 2, 21 is number 3, and he's number 4. Maybe slightly higher than 21 actually. So he's maybe the 3rd one. I always like stories that give me more insight into a character and how they act. Well, I suppose I'll decide that on another time. Now, who is next? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I personally do not know. I suppose Pulao will be next. that will definitely not gonna be tomorrow, because the only reason I've been streaming back to back to back is because I had the empty time to do so. Not anymore. So I'll see how it goes. Next stream, however, will definitely not gonna be an affection reading though. The next affection reading will be Pulau, but next stream will not. Next stream will be next stream. Sorry. I'm drinking water, so the accent is going off. The next stream will be Enfield, actually. We'll be streaming Enfield on mobile because 70 gigs is stupid. Once again. And this time, it will actually be unlaggy. I'll be streaming my polls for whatchamacallit, for Yvonne. And we'll be continuing the story from where we left off. I've not logged into Enfield since that stream, so we'll see how that goes. Maybe I should. We'll see. It's gonna be either Enfield or me continuing Toho Lunar Nights. Either or. The Toho Lunar Nights playthrough. It will be a break from affection stories for a while. Fallout will be like next week, if not the week after. So who knows? So, that was fun. Until next time, I got nothing else to say. So, until next time, stay safe. Wash your hands, feet, head. Eat, sleep, healthy. Unless it's garlic bread, in which case embrace your garlic bread heritage. And I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.